November 15, 1906, The Daily Star, Fredericksburg, Virginia. We'll all be flying soon. Santos Dumont says aeroplanes will supplant the automobile. Paris, November 15. Santos Dumont, since the successful flight of his aeroplane, the Bird of Prey, talks enthusiastically of the early approach of the day when all mankind will be navigating the air and when flying machines will be more common than automobiles. Indeed, he thinks that the flying machine will eventually become the poor man's automobile, be safer, faster, and cheaper. In an interview, he said, "The machine I am experimenting with is very large, having a surface of 80 square meters, but the practical aeroplane, which will be for the air what the democratic bicycle is for the earth, will be much smaller. With ordinary flying machines, it is necessary to increase the size in order to increase the power." With the aeroplane, on the contrary, the speed will be increased in direct proportion to the diminution of the resisting surface. My present aeroplane was intentionally built large to overcome main obstacles as to principles, but with increased power, which means speed, the size can be reduced. At the same time, increased speed adds to the safety, as a powerful motor is more easily manipulated. We can therefore look forward to a practical aeroplane, which can be comfortably housed in every home. From the standpoint of maintenance, the cost both of petroleum and repairs, the aeroplane will be much less expensive than the auto car. There will be no expensive tires to burst, and no bad roads to jolt them to pieces. There will be no collisions. Next year, people will be able to go to the seashore on their aeroplanes. October 13, 1913. Berkeley Daily Gazette, Berkeley, California. Aviator startles crowds by flying upside down. All the world of aviation, and many who know little about that, were startled the other day when news came from France that Aviator Pégu had flown in his monoplane upside down for a quarter of a mile. Then, for fear any persons would not believe the feat could be easily done, he repeated it the next day. M. Blériot, the inventor of the monoplane, has contended that any properly built aeroplane should not be able to capsize in the air. That is, if it did capsize, it ought to be able to continue flying. He had Pégu make the attempt. Few alterations were made in the machine. Some of the uprights were braced, and some of the wings were made stronger. The monoplane had a 50-horsepower motor. With this daring advance in flying, something has been accomplished that the birds themselves cannot imitate, and flying is made much safer, for many accidents have been caused by aeroplanes capsizing. July 24, 1923. The Evening Independent, St. Petersburg, Pinellas County, Florida. St. Petersburg girl or boy has a chance to get free tuition in aviation school. An opportunity is to be offered to some St. Petersburg young man or woman with the necessary qualifications to enter a flying school to master the art of navigating the air. In connection with a nationwide campaign being made by the National Aeronautic Association of the USA to put America first in the air, free scholarships are being offered to induce young men of the country to take up flying and consequently swell the thinning ranks of flyers in the country. The association has written Mayor Frank F. Pulver requesting that he name a candidate for admittance to one of these schools and it is quite possible that a young man or woman will be selected from St. Petersburg to enter training, such selection to be made by Acting Mayor E. G. Cunningham. According to the letter received in the office of the mayor, the association views with concern the rapidly diminishing of the army of flyers, principally through the settling down to the routine of business life. These thinning ranks are not being replaced by fresh men, the communication continues, in part because of lack of the opportunity to fly. We have many excellent flying schools, but the rates for instruction ranging from $200 to $500 are beyond the reach of many. The National Aeronautic Association has made arrangements with leading flying schools of the country whereby a large number of men, 17 years of age and over, will be given an opportunity to fly without cost of tuition. To your city there has been allotted one scholarship for each 25,000 population. These scholarships are to be earned by candidates arousing public sentiment in your community in support of national aeronautics and effectively tying up that sentiment through membership in the National Aeronautic Association, with the nationwide campaign now underway by the association to put America first in the air. The head of the city is asked to cooperate by nominating the candidate. If he is underage, he must have consent of his parents or guardians to take the training, must be physically fit, and must be a clean-cut young man with high standing in the community. When the name of the candidate is received, he will be furnished with a questionnaire and application blank and necessary instructions with preceding the task they have undertaken. The opportunity is also open to the young women. As a means of stimulating interest among the students, a Curtiss JN-4D airplane all ready for flying will be awarded the winner of a free flying scholarship who makes the best showing in the campaign anywhere in the United States. The opportunity is presented. All that is wanted is the boy or girl candidate. February 11, 1924, Evening News, San Jose, California. Plane rescues girl in plane as stunt fails. Houston, Texas, February 13. A thrilling rescue in midair saved Miss Rosalia Gordon, Houston, chorus girl, from death, while more than 5,000 horrified spectators gazed skyward at Ellington Flying Field here yesterday. Miss Gordon, who formerly was an aerial stunt performer, was attempting to make a parachute leap from a mile-high plane when the huge umbrella became entangled in the equipment on the plane. Diavato, acrobatic airman, who was in the plane, climbed out of the fuselage and down to the landing gears, but was unable to drag her back to safety. Meanwhile, C.E. Panghorn, the pilot, kept the plane in the air, realizing that an attempt to land would have meant instant death to the girl. Freddie Loon, Houston Aviator, went up in another machine, piloted by Tommy Thompson. A mile from the ground, he changed from Thompson's plane to Panghorn's. He then worked his way to the landing gear, but even he and Diavato proved unequal to the task of drawing the helpless girl back to the machine. Loon then mounted to the passenger seat and, using the auxiliary control, drove the plane while Panghorn climbed down to the landing gear, and between them they drew the girl to safety. Miss Gordon suffered a severe nervous shock, but was otherwise uninjured. August 15, 1924, Lake Benton Valley News, Lake Benton, Minnesota. 1,000 ask fare on Zeppelin. No passengers to be taken, however. Army officers to make flight. Berlin. More than 1,000 men and women have requested the Zeppelin Airship Company to make reservations for them for the maiden flight across the Atlantic of America's new air passenger liner, the SR-3. It is now believed the flight will start from the Friedrichshafen about the middle of September. The 1,000 would-be passengers are doomed to disappointment, however, as no passengers can be carried, all the available places being future officers of airships. According to reports here, American warships will form a chain along the transatlantic route to safeguard the flight.